Alright, welcome back to another Art of War 3 replay. I'm your host, Jiang Cena, and today we're going to be doing a clan versus clan 2v2 battle. I'm going to be the green Confederate player, my ally Kinezul is going to be the blue Confederate player. So let's get into it. We're going to be facing off against two players from POTROSHITELI. Both of these players are very strong resistance players, so we have an exciting matchup lined up here. So we can see here, I am HQ3 at this point with 7 supply centers. Kinezul is already HQ4 at this time with 8 supply centers and full infrastructure. At this point, my plan is just to produce units. This is why we can see that Barbaros86, the yellow player, has already got a JCP army out. So I do not have time to tech up to HQ4. I need to get some ground units out to defend my base. And here comes the JCP army. They're parked right at the top of the cliff here. And Barbaros86 wastes no time at all putting pressure onto my base here. I had some lag happening in the game during this time. You can see some of my infantry just mindlessly running towards the JCP just to get slaughtered. So right now my plan is to move my entire army to the back of my base and keep my units as far away as possible. Kinezul says that he's going to send a couple Thors over to help with the defense. So I need to hold out and just amass units as much as possible before Barbaros86 gets further into my base. I'm going to go ahead and throw in an emergency measures boost. I used a gold one to have that 20% building defense capacity. I'm trying to upgrade a special vehicle factory, but I chose the wrong one. My construction yard does get destroyed, and now that building is unable to produce units or be upgraded. And here comes the JCP army. Kinezul tells me to charge. This is the time to defend, so I'm going to send my entire ground army of hammer tanks and infantry. Here come the Thors from Kinezul. Let's see where the Thors hit. And the Thors are going to bomb, but they miss a big portion of the army. So I'm going to see if I can defend this assault here. My army is moving straight in. I've got a gold common defense boost here. And it looks like we are going to be able to push away this JCP army, which is going to be good news for us. I need to regroup though. I'm not out of the woods by any means, and I need to make sure that both red and yellow don't come back to finish me off. So Kinezul is going to send some reinforcements over. Meanwhile, Kinezul is in full production mode, trying to get an army out. At the same time, I'm trying to defend. Barbaros86 isn't finished yet though. They're trying to come back in for another assault. I move my ground army in with Kinezul's combined forces. Kinezul's got some reinforcements mixed in to support my troops here, and I've got plenty of troops to defend with, so this defense here will be no problem. Barbaros86 doing a good job though, playing aggressively but also retreating when needed. We can see that they're trying to finish off another one of my supply centers. I'm going to move my tanks in. Here comes Thors from Kinezul, and they're going to level that airfield from the red player and heavily damage those Hawks. Meanwhile, the shield generator here from Kinezul is supporting our tanks here as we push back Barbaros86. The Hawks are coming in to retaliate against the Thors. They're scoring some hits on the Thors, but are taking some heavy damage from the anti-air towers and the Typhoons that Kinezul has put down. And we can see some Hawks starting to get shot down by the anti-air defenses set up. And I don't know if this is worth it. Red continuing to try and engage the Thors, but Red's going to have to pull back. So in the meantime, I'm going to drop some more infrastructure down, trying to rebuild my base here, get some production rolling. So right now I'm triple assault vehicle factory. I'm trying to get triple barracks out. So I've got triple barracks out, and here we go. A big engagement unfolding in the middle of the map here. That's a huge JCP army here. We can see that there's Hawks coming in from the red player. Kinezul coming in with the Thors. He's going to score a hit on the large container there. Hawks desperately trying to dish out damage. They're going to snipe a Thor there. And we can see that there's not a lot of ground troops left for the yellow side. Hawks are dishing out some damage there as well. We see the anti-air tower from Kinezul dishing some damage against the Hawks to counter. So we can see that Kinezul is going to make the call here. He's going to say that we should full commit. My plan was originally to pull back, but I think looking back on this battle, moving into the JCP was the move. And we can see that this was the right move indeed. We were able to counter a lot of this ground army and really push back the resistance side. So now we have gained initiative of the map here. I've got a huge tier 3 army here moving through the map. So Thors are now coming in for kinezul. They're headed straight for another target. Well, let's see where they go. Another airfield, and those airfields get leveled by the Thors. We see that red is teching up to HQ5, so we might see mass hawks on the battlefield if we're not careful. So I'm going to launch an assault now. We have the initiative, and I'm going to take full advantage of it. My hammer tanks are headed straight for Barbaros 86's base. Let's see what kind of damage we can do. There's a JCP grouping trying to defend against my hammers here, but I've got a lot of hammers here. Hawks are coming in though from the red player. Red now trying to defend his ally, and I don't have enough typhoons on the battlefield to counter those hawks, so those hawks are ripping apart my hammer tanks. But we can see that yellow does not have that much of a ground army out right now. They are rapidly trying to produce ground troops here. We're trying to see if we can take out that production here. So I'm going to take out this assault vehicle factory there. So that's going to cut the Jaguar production in half very nicely. I'm flagging that other assault vehicle factory. Let's see if we can take it out. It's going to be close. kinezul's got some hammers doing harassment on the side there. And there goes the Thors. They score another hit on the red player. Red is struggling with those Thors. We're trying to finish off this last assault vehicle factory though, but we come up just short. Hammer's now trying to finish off this assault vehicle factory for kinezul. Is kinezul going to get the factory? I don't know. These hawks are cleaning up those hammer tanks really nicely, and there's no anti-air support. And kinezul is just going to fall short of taking out that factory. So meanwhile, kinezul is going to move some more ground troops in. Looks like we got hammer tanks and typhoons mixed in together. Infantry spam starting to come in from the resistance side with some Jaguar tanks. We see a chameleon on the battlefield as well. Looks like kinezul's working his way towards the red player's base. Red's hawks coming into play, trying to dish out damage against our ground troops here. We've got some typhoons in play though. Red looks like is transitioning towards a ground build. We've got a couple assault vehicle factories there. The Thors are going to level those two airfields. Red is in trouble. Red is very limited on the aviation that they can use on the battlefield. Meanwhile, my ground troops consist of hammer tanks and fire assaults. Looks like Thor scored another hit on that Avia factory, so no more aviation production for Red. My ground troops trying to make a push onto Barbaros 86 once again. I don't quite have enough troops though, and I think I'm going to retreat here. I need to regroup, so I'm going to flag a point on the map. I'm going to regroup in the middle of the map before I make another push. Here comes kinezul with another Thor, and kinezul is going to destroy that last airfield. We can see that the red player is attempting to rebuild the Avia factory to try and get some aviation on the battlefield. So the regrouping was a good idea. Now we've got a much larger army to work with. We got hammers and fire assaults mixed together to go against Jaguars, chameleons, and infantry. And we're going to be able to push back some of this JCP here. And looks like the chameleon army is going to retreat. Resistance side is under heavy pressure. Thor's coming in once again. They're going to score a nice hit on that power plant and the assault vehicle factory. So now we got troops moving in. Looks like we're going for a split army here. I originally told kinezul that we should attack yellow, but it looks like kinezul is going to go for the red player instead. So I'm going to focus in on the yellow player. Here comes kinezul. He's going to take out that Avia factory, so no more aviation for the red player. Red's in big trouble now. They've got a few factories out, but that's not going to be enough. My troops, meanwhile, are moving in. I've got some hammer tanks now streaming in from both sides. Looks like hammer tanks now moving on to that assault vehicle factory for the red player. Red's in trouble, and yellow's also in trouble. We see yellow got triple assault vehicle factories, desperately trying to pump out as many Jaguar tanks as possible to counter. So kinezul continuing to put pressure on the red player. Neither resistance player is able to help out their partner, and our ground troops are just continuing to pour in. Yellow is slowly running out of troops here, but they're producing Jaguar tanks as quickly as possible. It's still a tough fight they're putting up, and here comes the Thors from kinezul. They destroy a huge portion of yellow's base. Yellow's economy just gets crushed. Meanwhile, red is struggling immensely here. Red is down to just spamming riflemen to try and defend. That is not going to be enough. We see the last remnants of Yellow's army here. We see quite a few Jaguar tanks and a Chameleon in play here. And it looks like kinezul's saying that he's going to switch to blue boosts. So it seems like kinezul feels pretty good about the outcome of our game here. I'm feeling pretty good at this point too. I've got a gold vehicle attack boost though, just to make sure. Considering that I'm 2 ranks below these 2 players, I can't really take any chances at this time. And it looks like Red is going to self-destruct their base. It is good game. Red is throwing in the towel. And at this point, the rest of us is going to be us just cleaning up the last bits of the base here. kinezul scores one last nice bombing hit on Yellow. And that is going to be the end. Alright, hope you all enjoyed this really intense action-packed battle. Good luck in your battles. We will see you in the next battle.
Victory.